A routine trip to the bank, a place we often visit without a second thought, is unfortunately becoming a high-risk activity for everyday citizens. The simple act of depositing or withdrawing money now carries a potential threat. This is due to a growing crime trend called jugging. It's a term you might not be familiar with, but it's essential to understand. Criminals target people who've just withdrawn cash, making them immediate targets the moment they leave the bank. They are watching for telltale signs like bank envelopes, which are dead giveaways. They also look for receipts, those small pieces of paper we often carelessly discard, but which can reveal that a large transaction just occurred. Jugging is a calculated crime. It's not spontaneous. Perpetrators plan, stake out banks, observing customer behavior and patterns. They are patient, waiting for the right opportunity. And they select victims based on vulnerability, often targeting individuals who appear to be elderly, distracted, or alone. Teams often work together in sophisticated ways, increasing their chances of success. A spotter, positioned strategically, identifies the target, relaying crucial information to their accomplices. Then communicates with accomplices who follow the victim, sometimes for miles, patiently waiting for the opportune moment to strike. Victims are often completely unaware they're being watched, going about their day without any suspicion, until it's too late and they find themselves in a dangerous and frightening situation. This isn't a random theft, it's not a crime of opportunity, it's a coordinated operation, meticulously planned and executed with precision. That can follow you from the bank to your next stop, or even all the way home, making you feel unsafe in your own sanctuary. The criminals wait for the victim to be distracted, perhaps talking on their phone, or isolated in a parking lot, before striking with speed and aggression. Sometimes they break into cars to steal cash, leaving victims with damaged property and a sense of violation. Other times they confront victims directly, escalating the situation to a potentially dangerous and terrifying encounter. Jugging leaves people not just financially hurt, with the loss of their hard-earned money, but emotionally scarred, often feeling vulnerable and anxious long after the incident. The threat is growing, especially in Texas, where jugging incidents have been on the rise, and law enforcement is taking notice, dedicating resources to combating this type of crime and bringing perpetrators to justice. Jugging thrives on a lack of awareness, on people being complacent and not paying attention to their surroundings. Making vigilance crucial, the key to preventing yourself from becoming a victim. What seems like a simple errand, a quick stop at the bank, can quickly become dangerous if you're not careful and aware of the potential risks. Understanding how jugging works, the tactics criminals use and the signs to look for, is the first and most important step to protecting yourself and your assets. Jugging, at its core, starts with surveillance. It's a calculated game of observation, where criminals patiently watch and wait. They are looking for any sign, any indication that someone is carrying a substantial amount of cash. These criminals watch banks, carefully studying the patterns of customers. They're not just looking at who enters and exits, but also how they behave, what they carry, and any other clues that might suggest they've just made a significant withdrawal. They are specifically looking for people carrying cash or bank envelopes, those telltale signs of a recent transaction, a large deposit, a significant withdrawal. These are the triggers that set the jugging process in motion. Once a target is spotted, the operation kicks into high gear. The initial observer has identified someone they believe is worth pursuing. The spotter signals to accomplices, relaying crucial information about the target's appearance, vehicle, and direction of travel. This communication is often discreet, using coded language or subtle gestures to avoid detection. These accomplices then discreetly follow the victim, maintaining a safe distance while carefully tracking their movements. They are patient and methodical, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. The chase can last for blocks or even miles, as the criminals patiently tail their target, anticipating their next move. They might follow them through busy city streets or along quiet residential roads. The criminals are waiting for the right moment, a lapse in vigilance, a moment of vulnerability. They are looking for a place where they can act quickly and decisively, minimizing the risk of getting caught. Parking lots, with their rows of parked cars and bustling activity, gas stations, where people are often distracted while fueling their vehicles, and even driveways, the very entrance to your home, are common places for the attack. These are all locations where people tend to let their guard down, making them prime targets for jugging. Most often thieves break into the victim's car, using tools or brute force to gain access to the valuables inside. This usually happens when it's left unattended, even for a few minutes. That's all the time a skilled jugger needs to smash a window and grab the cash. Sometimes they confront the victim directly, especially if they believe the potential reward outweighs the risk. This confrontation involves using threats or violence to intimidate the victim into surrendering their cash. This is a more dangerous and brazen approach, but it's one that juggers are willing to take. Anyone handling cash is a potential target, regardless of their background or profession. This includes business owners who regularly deposit their daily earnings, parents who may be carrying cash for family expenses, and the elderly, who may be more vulnerable and less able to defend themselves. The only real requirement is a visible bank transaction, something that signals the presence of cash. Jugging is not about who you are, your age, or your social status, but solely about what you're carrying, the cash they believe you have. The entire process is quick, highly organized, and often hard to detect, making it a challenging crime to prevent and prosecute. Victims rarely realize they're being followed or targeted until after the crime has already occurred, leaving them feeling violated and vulnerable. This methodical and calculated approach makes jugging a widespread threat to communities everywhere. Therefore, awareness and caution, being vigilant about your surroundings, are your best defenses against becoming a victim of jugging. Jugging is surging across Texas, from big cities to quiet suburbs. Police in Houston, Dallas, and Austin report sharp increases in cases since late 2023. Victims are followed from banks, stores, and even airports. Anywhere cash is involved, criminals are more organized and patient, sometimes trailing targets for miles. These are not isolated incidents, but part of a coordinated crime wave. Law enforcement faces challenges as these groups operate across city lines. The rise in jugging has left many Texans anxious about everyday banking. Despite increased police efforts, the trend continues, demanding urgent action. Jugging often escalates from theft to violence, putting lives at risk. Victims have been assaulted, threatened, and even killed during these robberies. The trauma goes beyond lost money. Many suffer lasting fear and anxiety. Simple tasks like going to the bank become sources of stress. Communities feel the impact, with fear spreading and trust eroding. People change routines, avoid banks, and worry about their safety. The emotional scars can last long after the crime. Jugging is not just a property crime, it's a direct threat to public safety. Texas lawmakers are fighting back with House Bill 1902. The bill makes jugging a felony, reflecting its organized and dangerous nature. Supporters say current laws don't go far enough to punish or deter offenders. HB 1902 defines jugging as surveillance and following someone from a financial institution to commit theft. This closes legal loopholes and gives prosecutors stronger tools. The goal: tougher penalties, more convictions, and a clear message that Texas won't tolerate jugging. Strong laws are a key step in protecting communities. Law enforcement agencies across Texas are taking decisive action. Police are stepping up patrols, increasing their visibility in areas prone to jugging incidents. This heightened presence serves as a deterrent to potential criminals. These patrols are particularly focused around banks and ATMs, locations where individuals are likely to be carrying significant amounts of cash. In addition to marked patrol cars, undercover officers and increased surveillance are being deployed. These measures aim to provide an extra layer of security, monitoring suspicious activity and gathering intelligence. The goal is to proactively identify and apprehend jugging crews in the act, disrupting their operations and bringing them to justice. Law enforcement is also working closely with banks, fostering a collaborative approach to combating this crime. This partnership aims to improve security measures within banking institutions and facilitate the sharing of crucial information about potential threats and suspicious individuals. Furthermore, public awareness campaigns are being launched to educate people on how to avoid becoming victims of jugging. Here are some key safety tips to keep in mind. Always stay alert and aware of your surroundings. Conceal cash discreetly and avoid displaying large sums of money in public. Be vigilant and watch for anyone who may be following you or exhibiting suspicious behavior. If you suspect you're being followed, don't go directly home. Instead, head to a nearby police station or a well-lit, busy public area where you can seek assistance. Never leave cash or valuable items visible in your car, even for a brief period. When possible, bring someone with you for large transactions, providing an added layer of security. Implementing these simple steps can significantly reduce your risk and make you a less appealing target for jugging. Police stress that maintaining vigilance and situational awareness is the best defense against becoming a victim. Empowering the public with knowledge and proactive safety measures is crucial in stopping jugging and creating safer communities for everyone. Jugging isn't just a Texas problem, it's spreading nationwide. Texas's response, especially HB 1902, could inspire other states. Laws alone aren't enough. Public awareness is vital. When people know the risks and take precautions, criminals lose their advantage. Community, law enforcement, and lawmakers must work together. The goal is to restore safety and peace of mind for everyone. Continued vigilance and action are needed as criminals adapt. Together we can keep a simple trip to the bank safe and routine.